Good morning, everybody. It's Carrie here from the Art Court office, and we are here for our Stay Connected Mindful Moments. Unfortunately, Pam, the so you've got me instead. Of growing, which is a theme that all of you who come to Art Court already for our art sessions will be interested in, and that I can talk a bit about because I'm not as good as Pam. I don't know about mindfulness as much as Pam, as she's trained as a life coach and a nutritionist. But I can talk about creativity because when I'm not at Art Court as a program coordinator, I work as an artist myself, and we've often experienced times where there's a creative block. So we've put together our exciting 5 top tip sheet that we'll attach in the event and on the Art Core page, and also on our website for you to download on how to grow in creativity. So I put together this quote. I like this. It says, "Curiosity about life in all its aspects, I think, is still the secret of great creative people." And that was Leo Burnett that said that quote. So curiosity about life in all of its aspects, I think, is still the secret of great creative people. So what makes a creative person, we're thinking about this morning. So when you have curiosity about all things, and we'll talk about that in the 5 top tips, but being a curious person, and definitely know that about my bosses. They're always interested in different subjects, and that's why we have such a range of programs that we deliver, because of that curiosity. We explore, we support people in all different areas, and look how art can be used as a tool to facilitate friendships and conversations, as well as actual investment in developing our art skills as well. So let's have a look. So our first point on our top tip sheet is to channel your inner child. So that sounds quite funny, channeling your inner child. But when we were kids and when we were at school, play and explore the world, we didn't worry about what people thought about us. We would just pick up coloured paints. We would pick up kind of paper, we'd rip it up, we'd see what we could create. We would mix media, we wouldn't worry too much about the outcome. It was that playful process. We'd create work with other children, we might make a pattern in the sand pit, all of those things, and we sort of lost that a bit as we got older. So what is really important is to channel your inner child. Make a mess. Don't be worried about making a mess. Like, have some space to just get out all your art equipment and just have a play. So I did a project called Stories for the Soul, working with people living with dementia, and that was all about play. How can we be in the moment and fully present? As we know about people living with dementia, they are often in the present moment because they struggle to remember what's just happened in their short-term memory. They might be able to go back years ago. So the project I did taught me so much about being present, fully present in the present moment, and playing with materials is part of that. So why not just get out your stuff? If you're used to working very intricately, if you're used to create, so I don't know about you guys, but I sometimes get really obsessed with the finer detail of things. I make jewellery, and I do sculpture, and I get obsessed with the detail. But sometimes to free up, if I've got creative block, I work on a big piece, something on the wall, maybe this sort of size. It just gets you to free up your creativity to explore colour and pattern and different mediums. So that's the first thing, is to channel your inner child. The second is to travel to other places. I don't know about you, but whenever I go on holiday somewhere, there's some inspiration that I'll draw from that. And we've heard about the great Parisian artists, where they had a creative community working. And we've heard about people going on the grand tour to Venice. All the artists went to Venice to study the architecture and to experience the whole creative culture there. There's certain places that again and again inspire us. Even I went to Brighton Pavilion 2 years ago for an awards ceremony, and even going to see that lovely pavilion that's in the Chinese style, it's very gross and over the top, has influenced me in the work that I do now. So have a think about where you can travel to. At the moment, our travel is restricted. I've got some friends who've managed to go to France, but there's still some restrictions on where we can go. But on our own doorstep, I'm from Liverpool, and we've got like the most amazing art galleries, and the river, and we've got the Tate Modern, all, so lots of different places. Even going, for me to go back home from Derby to Liverpool is inspiration that can be drawn from that. Or even in Derby, I'm new to Derby. I was in Sheffield, living in Sheffield, and coming to Derby, you notice the architecture that's different. There's different ideas and thoughts that are coming. So just have a little bit of a change of scenery can help if we're feeling kind of stuck in that creative rut. And also I put on our 5 top tips, at the touch of a button you can be transported to India, just by touching a button on your computer and typing in India, or somewhere to look at, or the Antarctic, or Norway, or Iceland, or Morocco. I've got a friend that runs an eco village, that set up a creative arts eco village in Morocco, and I can see the pictures on Facebook, and it's fantastic, and it just helps to free up your mind to experience new cultures, new ideas. Just all of that enriches our imaginations, and gives us loads of ideas of different work we can do. So that's my second point on the top tips. So the third tip is to connect with creative people. I don't know about you, but there's a saying that says that the people that you spend the most time with are the people that you become like. And I know I've got a lot of friends from all different backgrounds. I've got friends who are like physicists and biologists and statisticians, and that stuff. I am a creative person, so that stuff's like really interesting, but it's over my head, some of that. But I think when I'm with those people, they think in a very logical way and in a certain way, and I think if you are a creative person, you need to have friends from all those different walks of life, all those different variety of people, especially other artists. You tend to find artist communities. Artists attract artists, because of the way that we think in a different creative way. I do think everyone has the capacity to be creative, in whether it's with cooking, whether it's with in different ways, to home decorating. I mean, everyone has the capacity to be creative. But also, if you are an artist, it's really important to get inspiration from those around you. So we'd say, like, Artcore is a perfect place for meeting other creatives. Just over my time working at Artcore, I've met ceramicist Catherine Borg, Dawn Campion, who does the beautiful teddy bears but delivers a lot of our workshops, a theatre designer, set designer Connie Burley. Who else have we got? We've got so many people. Bob Mulder, who does amazing illustration. Victoria Brown, who's inspired by the lace making industry and has done many projects about the heritage of Nottingham. There's just on our doorstep at Artcore, we've got this wealth of amazing people who've done amazing things, and it's just a real privilege, and as participants you will have met them doing the different courses, and knowing those people really is enriching, and sparks new projects. Marie Hegarty is someone who's great at joined up thinking, of like lots of ideas. She put, after doing some workshops with us at Artcore, she then went on to put on a festival to raise money for the Rainbows Hospice, and raised £700 over a weekend, getting artists together to put on an online exhibition, an online kind of workshops and lots of different things to raise money. And so it's those ideas that get sparked when we come together. I'm just thinking of other examples. Over the years, I had an idea that I wanted to do an exhibition at the cathedral in Sheffield, and I popped in and chatted to them. And literally within 10 minutes, they'd sourced some money for me to get a massive sculpture delivered up from the Shropshire to be put up in the cathedral. Loads of artists came. Keith Nichols did a massive triptych as part of it was part of an ecology of hope was the theme. And then I found out another friend had done some stuff around kind of, she'd made some work around looking at the heartbreaking island and the unrest, and she'd made a wooden tombstone with a broken heart in a mirror as a sculpture. And then within minutes we'd pulled together this amazing exhibition that was on for a few weeks in the middle of Sheffield. You just have to have the spark. So if you've got an idea, just chat to other creative people to see if they can make it happen. There's nothing ventured, nothing gained. And I have been amazed over the years, especially working at Artcore and all the different projects that have happened, just what you can do when creatives come together. Often money, you don't need a lot of money to make things happen, because people, if they're on the journey with you, will pull out all their resources and will support the mission. We're very lucky that Stay Connected has been funded by Foundation Derbyshire, but we're also looking for other support from people. We've just had a donation of materials to go out in our packs. We've had other donations over the years. So just creative hub of people is so important. Really inspiring as well. So I say to you, if you're feeling a bit disconnected, get in touch with us at Artcore. It's really important. Give the office a ring, have a chat with us on a Monday, and we can see how we can support you and plug you in with all the things that are going on. So how are we doing for time? It's 11:45. Let's have a little look. So number 4 is to schedule time in every day. So to grow your creativity, it's important to protect the time that you have to be creative. So every day, I would say, if possible, segment a part of your time that is entirely devoted to what is. Digital design, it might be knitting, it might be embroidery, it might be beading, bead making, jewellery making, sculpture, whatever your art form is. Segment a part of your day every day to devote to it. It will become a good habit, and you will see your progression in your skill, in your time, but it's also about having time to be in the flow of an activity. Again, from my work with people living with dementia, we found that working together to do some creative arts activities really helped to calm people if they were feeling upset and frustrated or agitated. We did a lot of the mandala painting. There's something special when I went to Brazil and I worked. I did a tour around Brazil looking at different art forms, working with different artists, and we found Chris and I'm doing you a disservice, Chris, but I think how I pronounce the last name is Anuat. Chris Anuat ran a centre in Sao Paulo that was for people with dementia, and she found that if you do an art activity, particularly mandalas, you get into a flow. It's really good for well-being for people. It calmed people. It really helped them to focus and really centre themselves. So there is a real sense of when we do an art form that really connects with us and really inspires us, and we get into the flow of that uninterrupted, that really has a big impact on our well-being. It really does. So I do encourage you, if whatever your art form is, for me it's probably collage and metalwork. Interestingly, if I'm soaring, I've got a peg on my bench at my studio in Sheffield that I work at, and if I'm soaring with metal, if I'm stressed, I'll break the saw blade, because you have to be so relaxed when you're sawing a piece of metal against the peg. You have to just be in a really zen-like mood. If you're stressed or you've got any kind of tension, you can't do it, and it forces me to do that really gently. And the same if you're doing collage or painting, if you're not in the sort of flow of it, it's really difficult to do it. So you'll know when you get into the flow, and I'd love to hear about what it is that helps you to get into the flow of being creative. I'd say if you're going to set a part of your day to be creative, do it in a space that you wouldn't use for other things. So for instance, they say if you work in your bedroom, I know a lot of students do this, if you work on your computer in bed, it really interrupts your sleep because you've associated the room with work, and then you're constantly ticking over thinking about work. But I would say that it's a similar situation. I've got a home office, but I tend not to use that if I'm being creative. I tend to go and work on the dining table, or I've got a fold down it's a fold down writing desk. I'll use that space, or I'm doing pyrography at the moment, so I have to go outside because it smells of burning otherwise. But having a different space that is dedicated to your craft will improve just getting into that flow. If you've got a partner or a husband or wife or a housemate, tell them that is your dedicated time, that they're not to interrupt you in that time, that this is the time that you need. It might just be quarter of an hour in a day. It might be an hour. Whatever you can segment out, that time is precious, and protect it. If you need to wear noise cancelling headphones, if you've got kids and a husband, if you explain to them that that's what you're doing, put them on and protect your time. Turn your phone off. Go somewhere where you can't hear the TV. Really protect that time. So we've got 10 minutes left, so let's have a look. Take a creative course. This is one that I've always been inspired by. So what we say is, if you're feeling stuck creatively, take a course. And it's really ramped up at the moment, the amount of amazing courses there are kind of online, because everyone's stuck at home and wants to learn something. I keep seeing some amazing courses pop up from, I think it must be a Spanish arts organisation called Domestica, and they keep showing me these amazing courses in children's storybook illustration or sketchbooking. And I just did a course, a creativity summit, which was a 5-day course. That I couldn't attend all of it, but I can still access the resources. So although I wasn't able to do the whole course because I was working, I'm still able to go back on my spare time and look at that course. So a lot of courses have the notes online, so you don't, even if you can't do the whole course while it's live, go back and do it at a later date. And there were some lovely parts of the course that was about creative sketchbooking and lettering. It looked at alphabet lettering and all, you know, the kind of print press type fonts and designing your own font. And I love that, and I could spend hours and hours doing that. So there's lots of courses. I think the ones I put on the list that inspired me was James Green. I'm going to give him a heads up. I did James Green, who's a printmaker in Sheffield. I did his course years ago. It was a 1 afternoon course, and it really sparked my imagination into doing lino printing. I've really got into lino printing over lockdown from doing that course. It even if you do a course and you don't use it straight away, you often come back to the skills that you've learnt. And with that course, we did, what did we do? We had to take a picture of something that we were doing. Let me just move the camera on there. So we did, I took a picture of a mountain in Switzerland that I visited, and a friend had got sunburnt there, and it became this, it became an epic adventure that we all went on one holiday. And so I took the picture of the mountain. So, and that was really lovely to be able to learn a course, and then I did a print of the mountain, and then I was able to give that out as presents at Christmas. So even if it's an art medium that you're not used to using, or you think, oh well, I'll never use that, you might use it to do a present or something for someone. So there's that opportunity. Another course I did, I got a voucher on Groupon to go and do a neon sign workshop. So you need a lot longer than a day, everyone, to make a neon sign, just so you know. But on the day, you got given a glass tube, and then then I had to heat the glass tube by rolling it over fire, and then I had a thing that had to blow down so that the glass didn't implode, and then you twisted it into different shapes. It was so much fun. It was like a science experiment. I don't know, I felt like I'm never going to make a neon sign, possibly. It's quite expensive to do a whole neon sign or even to commission it. But it gave me an insight into what is possible. And if you're a creator on the line that you get some funding, my dream was to do an exhibition with the reminiscences of older people living with dementia in neon signs. If anyone wants to fund that, let me know. But it sparked those brain waves to think, what is possible? What could I mix? What could I do? Could my work with dementia care be translated into this? What is it that you do that could be translated into something else? If you always work in textiles, why don't you have a look at printmaking? If you work in jewellery making, why don't you go and look at sculpture? Think outside the box. Go big. So if you're used to using a blowtorch with your silversmithing, why not then use a massive torch to do some blacksmith work and wrought iron work? So think outside of your usual medium, and take a course. Courses are fantastic, and there's loads of free courses at the moment. We run loads at Artcore, but the Arts Council are fab. they've been funding all courses online at the moment. I've seen all sorts that's free. There was a thing the other day, I think I don't know if it was one of the London galleries was doing on Matisse. I wasn't free to do it, but it was a free course. So have a look. Facebook's quite good for that, but there's loads of craftcourse.com. There's all sorts to look at. Even just type in what course you fancy, whether it's quilt making to neon sign making to collage to children's book illustration. Type it in and see what comes up. It's fantastic amount. We are so privileged at the moment. You don't need to go to university to be able to learn good skills in art. And that's the fantastic situation that we're in at the moment. We're able to really explore outside of the box what's possible. And to meet other artists online. I'm part of a Lino Cut Facebook group, and it is so good, like the quality that people are making. And if beginners go on there and post their first lino print, they get so much feedback and support. They get told where to buy the best materials, where to get cheap stuff, what they can do if they can't afford the nice lino, what could they use, top tips. So have a look for inspiration. So let's just go through the 5 top tips again. The first is channel your inner child. The second is travel to other places. The third is connect with creative people. The fourth is schedule time in every day. And 5 is take a creative course. So I hope you found this useful. This is part of our Stay Connected Art to Heart work, which are our mindful moments on a Monday, every Monday at 11:30. Pam will be back with us next week, and we're going to talk about a life in balance. What does it mean to have a balanced life? I don't know about you, but this time in isolation the balance has tipped maybe for some people. Some people are working even more at home, others are not working at all, and the balance is totally tipped there. So we want to help you to get your life back on balance, to like scales. We want you it's important to have a bit of everything. You need to work hard, but you also need to play hard. You need to, we need to have time with family, but you also need time to invest in yourself and develop your skills. So we're going to talk next week. Pam will be taking you through all of that. Well, I think my time is up. So thank you for listening. The Stay Connected project, we're going to post the link to the sign up form underneath this post. Sign up. Do sign up if you're a participant with us. Sign up so we can find out how you are, how we can support you better if we can. It might be a bit of tech advice you need to be able to access some of our social media. It might be that you want a pack, one of our Art to Heart packs posting out in the post. It might be just that you want a chat. Like this morning I had a good chat with one of our participants he's been struggling not having art sessions, and he just needed a catch-up chat. Whatever it is, give us a ring on a Monday and fill in the form that we're going to post, and we will get in touch. So thank you everyone for listening, and we will see you soon. Sending so much love from the Art Core office and everyone here.